I have a Ford Fusion here. I just pulled up on the frame rack, and this one got popped in this left front corner, and it actually folded up the frame rail right here. Luckily, Ford makes sectioning procedures to section just part of this frame rail in. So I have the new part here, and they sell this as the full inner frame rail, but it's gonna get cut right here and sectioned in, just this inner piece, and the outer piece will stay. It's not hurt. And then it's also getting this new end plate. However, first I gotta put this up in clamps, and I will get it locked down to the frame bench, and I'll take some measurements, and I'm gonna have to grab this frame rail, pull it, and square it, get them both, get in, make sure everything's sitting exactly where it's supposed to. Then, once I get it squared up, I will go ahead and get into cutting and sectioning it. Now they have measurements of where they want these clamps, and you come off the center of the rear wheel, and this first one's 530 millimeters. So that's going to be right about there, and then this one is 2065 millimeters. Now I'm going to start by matching this measuring system to the vehicle so it knows exactly where the vehicle's sitting. What I do there is I go to 5 points in the center section of the vehicle where it's not damaged, and that will tell the measuring turtle exactly where the car is sitting. And then I could go to the front and measure those frame rails and see how far off they are. Now I could go to the front, and since the measuring system knows exactly where the car is sitting, obviously the car can't move, but it's in clamps, so I'm not worried about that. And there's a hole underneath here. That's going to be my first point I'll measure. Turns out that main frame rail that's damaged isn't too far off. It's about 6 millimeters over and about 7 millimeters down. So I gotta pull it over and down at the same time. And I have the measuring system on this bottom point, so I can kind of watch it as I go. I'm gonna shift this just a little more downward. So I got this one all squared up, both frame rails, everything is within spec. So I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting this inner frame rail off. Alright, I have this frame rail sitting exactly where it's supposed to be sitting, so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna weld my seam up, get it welded in place, then I'll have to measure it again to make sure I get this exactly where it's supposed to sit. So I went ahead and fit the headlights and everything up. I want to make sure that the hood lined up properly with the headlight, as well as the fender. Everything's lining up nice. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this one back apart, and I will get the hood primed up, as well as this little spot on the front door.